In a life steeped in beliefs of fate and supernatural powers, divination becomes a window into the future explored by the inhabitants of the Roman Empire. As noted by the Roman writer Cicero, even the legendary founder of Rome, Romulus, was an augur who understood the importance of divination in leading his people. Not only Romulus, but during the reign of Julius Caesar, the presence of 16 respected augurs indicated how crucial divination was in political and spiritual decision-making. For the Romans, omens were not just coincidences, they were messages from the gods that needed to be interpreted wisely. From observing the movements of the heavens to examining the entrails of slaughtered animals, the Roman society employed various methods to predict the future. However, beyond the famous astrology and prophecies from the Sibylline Books, there were also less conventional divination methods used by those seeking guidance in their destiny. Let us explore together some of the most unusual divination methods ever used by the Roman society. Holy chickens. In 249 BC, in preparation for the battle against the Carthaginian forces off the coast of Drepana in Sicily, Roman commander Claudius Pulcher decided to seek guidance from one of the most unique divination methods used in the Roman military, sacred chickens. These chickens, kept by an official called the Pullarius, were believed to have the ability to provide guidance from the gods. The divination process began by scattering a handful of wheat on the ground and releasing the chickens from their coop. If the chickens quickly came out and began to eat eagerly, it was considered a good omen, prompting aggressive action from the Roman side. However, if the chickens hesitated or showed no interest in the grains, it was seen as a warning of defeat, and the battle was avoided. Seeing that the sacred chickens showed no interest, Pulcher became angry and took a bold step by ordering to throw the chickens overboard with the cry, "If they won't eat, let them drink." However, the outcome was not favorable for the Romans, as they suffered a crushing defeat by the Carthaginian forces at Drepana. In addition to using chickens as a divination medium, the Roman society also noted the use of more unusual divination methods, such as the improvised Ouija board, where chickens were used to select letters placed in a circle, perhaps in an attempt to obtain guidance from the supernatural world about an unforeseen future. Urine. One of the unusual divination methods used by the Roman society was the reading of urine, a practice that was also widespread in the ancient world. The interpretation of this waste fluid varied greatly, ranging from interpreting taste or aroma to observing its flow and color. For example, the Romans often paid attention to the bubbles that appeared when someone urinated into a chamber pot before the contents of the pot were examined. Large and spaced apart bubbles were considered a sign of good luck, especially in terms of wealth. Conversely, small and closely packed bubbles were considered a bad omen, often associated with illness or even impending death. Mirror. In the Middle Ages and ancient times, the magical art of scrying was widespread. Scryers were diviners who looked into mirrors, crystal balls, water, or other reflective surfaces. Their goal was to predict the future or seek guidance from mysterious sources. In the Roman Empire, scryers were called speculari, derived from the Latin word for mirror and seeing. Roman Emperor Didius Julianus was known to often use a mirror to predict the outcome of a battle. According to the Historia Augusta, a Roman history book, Julianus worked with witches to perform rituals in front of a mirror. A young boy was brought in to read the mirror. The boy saw in the mirror the downfall of Julianus and the success of Severus, one of his rivals. This prediction proved true when Severus defeated Julianus and killed him in June 193. Thunder. In the life of Roman society, the sky was not just a collection of stars but a spiritual roadmap interpreted by diviners. Augurs, perched atop remote hills, gazed into the sky in hopes of capturing divine messages hidden among the movements of nature. They observed flocks of birds crossing, lightning splitting the sky, and even changes in the shape and movement of clouds, believing that behind these natural phenomena lay signs from the gods. Brontomancy, a famous divination art among ancient Romans, used lightning and thunder as a means to interpret destiny. In this culture, thunder echoing on the left side of the sky was seen as a good omen, while thunder on the right side was considered a bad sign. However, the significance of thunder also varied depending on the day of the week, with each day carrying a unique meaning. For example, thunder on Sunday was associated with the death of religious figures, while on Monday, it could be seen as a sign of a woman's death. Wednesday and Thursday were often linked to social groups considered lowly, while thunder on Friday could be a bad omen for statesmen and generals. And on Saturday, thunder was often associated with more serious threats, such as disease outbreaks or famine, illustrating the complexity in the practice of divination in ancient Roman society. Next is the use of eggs as a medium of divination. In the practice of divination using eggs, diviners had various unique methods. One popular method was to put egg whites into boiling water, then interpret the patterns formed by the process. Neatly circular and symmetrical masses were often considered a sign that marriage would soon occur. On the other hand, patterns resembling snakes or irregular shapes were often interpreted as a warning of impending danger. According to Roman historical records, Livia Drusilla, who was pregnant at the time, used eggs to predict the gender of her baby. She placed the egg between her breasts, then, when the egg hatched, she held it in her hand. The chick that came out of the egg turned out to be male, as predicted earlier, indicating that her baby would be male. The success of this prediction gave confidence to the practice of egg divination in ancient Roman culture. Additionally, unbroken eggs were also used to predict various things. For example, an egg with two yolks was considered a sign of the birth of twins, adding another dimension to the richly symbolic practice of divination. The last and most extreme is the sacrifice of humans. In ancient Roman culture, divination practices often led to extreme and horrifying methods. One of these was anthropomancy, where humans were sacrificed for the purpose of divination. Although the evidence for this practice is not very strong, legends and historical records indicate that sometimes Romans sacrificed men, women, and even children in this divination process. The gruesome process involved opening the chest of a still living victim, followed by the removal of their organs in a specific order, all carefully read until the victim breathed their last breath. The priests who performed the sacrifice not only observed the shape and color of the organs but also interpreted the expressions and screams of the victims and the way blood flowed in their death throes. The notorious sadistic 3rd century emperor Elagabalus was rumored to be a practitioner of this method. Julian the Apostate, emperor from 332 to 363 CE, was suspected of sacrificing a woman with his own hands in a temple. The cruel emperor hung his victim with chains and then tore out her heart. This practice reflects the dark side of ancient Roman beliefs and culture, which sometimes involved gruesome sacrifices to gain insights into the future.